All right, y'all ready to get this show started here? What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, celebrating 22 years on Earth and 4 years of Ballard Sports Media. Coming at you live on my birthday, my 22nd birthday. We usually have a good crowd on this day, and I don't know if we'll get a big crowd tonight. I know a couple people are live. It being Saturday, we got BVD, we got Traveling Fools. So if you guys want to go watch them, fully understand. If you're watching this back, thank you. I figured I'd go ahead and start it up. I couldn't wait another minute, and it's here. So let's at least get a good crowd. Let's get some people watching. I'm going to share this out on Facebook real quick. We are live. Come on over. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yep. So we made it. 22 years on this earth for me. 4 years of Ballard Sports Media. And, this is December 9th. It is my birthday, but it's more than just that now. I mean, it's a celebration of my career kickstarting a few years ago. And we want to celebrate friendships on here. We want to celebrate relationships and, bonds that have been made and everything like that. So I went ahead and I dropped the StreamYard link. Anyone is welcome at any time. I will not hesitate to put you guys on. And all you got to do is click that link. It's free. You come in here, we'll talk it up. And I can't wait to talk with all of you. If we don't get people in here tonight, that's fine. I got plenty to talk about. I got plenty to look at. So we had the Army-Navy game. I'm still getting comments here. Still getting Facebook posts and everything. I appreciate it. I love all of you guys. Army-Navy game today, 17-11. Army won. I want to recap that game for a second. I got it pulled up on my phone, but maybe I can pull it up and we can share screen here on StreamYard. Let's see. So it looked like Army's defense made a game-winning stop on a goal line stand in the final seconds. I can't wait to watch highlights of this. Army goes 6-6. Navy falls to 5-7. 10 points for the Black Knights in the second quarter. They outscore Navy 10-0. And then Navy outscores Army 11-7, but it was not enough in the fourth quarter. Tyson Riley got a 4-yard pass from quarterback Bryson Daly for Army in the second quarter. Quinn Moretsky with a 47-yard field goal. Nathan Kirkwood with a 37-yard field goal for Navy in the fourth quarter. Caleb Fortner, a 44-yard fumble, scoop and score return. Jaden Umbarger with a 14-yard pass for Navy from Ty Lavati. I don't know. They failed the 2-point conversion and a safety right at the last minute for Navy. So they missed the 2 points, but they make up for it on the last play of the game. 17-11 is the score. Let's see who all's in the chat here. We got a couple people watching. We're on Facebook, on YouTube. Please feel free to click that StreamYard link. Anybody can come on here. All we ask is that you keep it clean. We're celebrating not just my birthday, but we're also celebrating the channel. So I want to see who all's in here. We got Flamin' Sports Media going on here. Ballard, happy birthday, man. Watching the Devin Haney boxing pay-per-view. Hey, there you go. Nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. Jennifer and Murphy, thank you. Says happy birthday. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, so what we've done in years past is we've kind of gone through the channel a little bit to find the best moments from the previous year. I like to make it a tradition now, though. It's funny because at first it almost wasn't Ballard Sports Media. Somehow my stupid self comes up with Ballard Sports Mania. And then I looked up mania and it's like a mental disease. I said no. But I had already made the video and I had already made it. I didn't feel like making a second video. I said, let's keep the video up to look back on it someday. And it turns out we've just been looking at it from like every single year. And it just kind of Ballard Sports Media came into my mind. And I'm like, holy cow, that's it. That's the name. That's the dream. Ballard Sports Media. So I'm like, what do I do with this video? I don't feel like making another video. I already said my words to get the channel started. Let's go. Let's go. I upload the video. Now it has in 4 years 122 views, which isn't bad. But again, it's your first video. Your first video has to be out of the park. Mine was not so much out of the park as it probably should have been. But 122 views for my first one's pretty good. Here are some other videos. We got the Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl. This was the year of the LSU run. I did talk about the Army-Navy game. LSU dominates in Oklahoma Peach Bowl. Clemson survives with late stop over Ohio State. Alabama wins Citrus Bowl. We can go back through and watch some of these. But let's start from the very beginning. Oh, look, they gave me advertisements on here. I've seen them. I'm not surprised. But we'll hang out for a few hours, man. If we get people later, we get people later. If we get them now, we get them now. So let's go ahead. Let's go back and watch my first ever video here. I just love it, man. I cough
Christian Ballard here with Ballard.
I cough at one point. I messed the name up. By the way, disclaimer. Not a disclaimer, but like I have autism. So that's what makes it even funnier to me. I'm not trying to like make fun of myself or nothing, but I just like for those that like don't get my weirdness or anything, I have autism. Diagnosed at a young age with it. So, but here's the first video on Ballard Sports Mania. Media. 221 long. Let's go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Mania. First YouTube video. Really just
You can obviously tell I was like nervous as hell too, by the way. So, but this is this is me. This is who I am. And, mistakes were made along the way and everything. It happens. I didn't know what to say. That's what I was going to call it. Then I looked at the word. I'm like, no. And like I said, I didn't want to remake the video, but ultimately we kept it. And it's taken off from here to over 1,000 this year. It is incredible. So thank you for all the love and support. But let's continue on with the video here.
Just wanted to make this channel and, to try to get a head start on my sportscasting career. That's the whole reason I wanted to do this. I'm such a huge sports fan.
By the way, feel free to click that
I'm an Alabama fan. I got a out-of-date SEC championship T-shirt. But, so this is to get a head start on my career. This is to see where this could take me, I guess. So it would mean a lot if you guys would subscribe if you're into sports and stuff. Talk football, mainly football, basketball, baseball. I guess in the future I want to stream football games, not like put the actual games on. I'm not going to do.
By the way, let's get into some baseball and definitely March Madness coming up in 2024. Let's get back to it. But it is mostly college football, so
do that. But it's me reacting.
I see you back there, Chess. We'll get you in a second, buddy.
I guess, and
just hold tight.
So really, just trying to get a head start. Like I just mentioned on my sportscasting career, I want to one day, uh, maybe be like a talk show host or like a college football analyst. Guys like Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler.
Guys like Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler, so much about this bugged me for a while, but it's who I am. And God's brought me a long way for sure. I mean, I could go down and
When
I'll put this video. I won't play the whole thing. I'll put a link to this in the comments if you guys want to just go check it out. My first ever video, and I've come a long way since then for sure. And with that being said, speaking of how far I've come on this channel, you want to talk about two unprofessionals? TikTok Chess Hall, what's up with you, man?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ballard. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I still got on here? I don't have it as an overlay, but you want to see this background. The original, real quick, the original Unprofessional Sports Show logo, man. Our show, we haven't done it in a while. We got to get back to it next year. Oh, he's gone. We got to get back to it, man. At some point, let's get back to it. I'm dead serious. Like, let's get back to it, man. Anyway, I love you, Chess. Thank you, buddy, for stopping in. Chess singing happy birthday may have been the best thing this year. It might be. It might be for sure. Oh, man. Thank you, William Bryant, for the congrats comment. Oh, he's back. Look.
Sorry about that. Internet
No,
went
you're
out.
good.
What was you showing about the Unprofessional Sports Show? What was it?
I was showing I had as a background. I don't have it as an overlay, but the original show logo here.
Yeah, you created that, I think.
No, we had, remember, Carter created it. Or no, Squintard. It was Squintard,
Okay.
wasn't it? I
I
didn't
think
make
so.
it.
Yeah.
I come up with this one here, and then you created this for us, which we can keep this up as long as it's here. Let me fix that for us. There we go. There we go.
I didn't create that. Maddie Sims, I believe, create that, or Squidtard did. But I didn't get to congratulate you, but congratulations on winning the SEC title, buddy.
Yeah.
Hopefully y'all go beat the cheaters, Michigan.
Are you pulling for the SEC this year? Are you hoping Alabama wins it?
I picked Texas at the beginning of the year to win it all. Believe it or not, I did not pick my team to win it all. I thought we would make it to the playoffs and lose in the championship, but of course we didn't make it. But that's okay. I think we had a great year, and for all you Georgia fans out there that are griping and complaining and everything, don't do that, man. We had a good year, and it's not over with yet. I mean, we're still going to be good, you know.
Yeah.
Did you see where Jaden Daniels won the Heisman? Which I don't think Jaden Daniels should have won it. I think the kid from Washington should have won it.
I was hoping for Michael Penix. I mean, they're all really good athletes, but
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Do you think when it comes to the Heisman, should they take into account your team's record? Good night. What do you think?
They should, yes.
Yeah. I think so.
I do too. So Ballard Sports Media is 4 years old now.
Yep. It's still a youngin'.
Dang, dude, we've been on here for 4 years. Crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I think we should do it next year, man. I think we should bring back the Unprofessional Sports Show full time on your channel.
For sure, man. It's crazy with my work schedule where I'm working and everything, but we can make it work. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I know we didn't get to do one for the SEC title, which that sucks, but we hopefully, you know, we can do it, man. I'm excited, dude. I'm happy for you, bud. I really am. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Did you get to see the trailer that I put out this past week? I mean, it copyrighted because of the music I played, but it's got 41
Yes.
views. I made a hype video hyping up this stream, and we only got a couple people watching, but
Hey man,
I'll
that's
play it
okay,
for
dude.
you if you. Yeah,
I'll is it on your channel? I'll go back and watch it. It's fine.
yeah.
I just
I
wanted to
just
come up
took
and
some clips of.
yeah. I just wanted to come say happy birthday to you because I know I saw on Facebook it was your birthday, and I love
Yeah.
you to death. You're my buddy. We're church going buddies. Shout out
Oh
to
yeah.
our pastor, great dude.
Shout out
And
to the great people in Coleman,
yes,
Alabama,
Coleman,
Restoration
yes.
Church. Love them.
And I am going to be
It's
going
on.
to that church in person pretty soon, hopefully. I really want to go.
Dude, come on. Come stay at the lake.
Yeah, man, I watch it every Sunday. I really do watch it every Sunday. And yeah, man, happy birthday, buddy. And look, dude, I'm always here for you if you need me. And I may not be doing the sports thing anymore over here, but I mean, I'm doing it on TikTok or whatever. But
Yeah.
I will say this: I'm a Professional Sports Show is one of my favorite shows, and I do want it to come back for the next football season if you're okay with it.
Absolutely, man. Let's keep in touch about it. I love you, man.
I love you too, buddy, and happy 4 years, man. Y'all subscribe to Ballard. He deserves it, man. He works his butt off on the channel.
Thanks,
All
Chess.
right, man. Love you, buddy. See ya.
See ya. Chess Hall, everybody stopping in as our first guest tonight. We're not doing this call-in show style, but if you want to be a part of it, don't hesitate. Don't be afraid to hit that link. Come on in here. Just put your name. You don't have to be on camera, but we at least need your audio because obviously we want to talk. So, what's going on? Who we got in here? We got the Godfather Waylon of the SEC. We got Max Todd. What's going on? Zombie BVD. First time here, new sub. Thank you, Max. Big Barney Ross, what's going on, buddy? Has Missouri football recruiting ever done a recruiting ad with the slogan Missouri Loves Company? If not, what is even the point of Eli? I'm not sure. And we got Flamin' Sports Media in here. I will drop that StreamYard link again. I see Waylon back there. We're going to drop the StreamYard link again. Let's talk it up. Let's talk some sports. Let's talk about life in general. All I ask, man, just keep it clean. And we'll be happy to get you guys on. Waylon, what's up?
Chris, what's going on?
Not much, buddy.
Birthday. Say today's your birthday, huh? 22?
22. Yes, sir.
Oh, man. 22. I can't even remember what I was doing at 22. I certainly don't remember my birthday. What? Yeah. What? Who else? Let's see. I got to get the comments up here. Who else is in here with us? Me and you, the only one?
We got a couple people watching. Big Barney Ross is a great member of this community. Flamin' Sports Media is an LSU guy. We've had him on here. Thanks to the people on Facebook like Jennifer N. Murphy. And we just had our friend TikTok Chess Hall on here. We do a show together, but it's been a while, and we want to try to bring it back maybe this next year or so.
Oh, yeah. I just thought I'd stop in. I hollered at you last night. So you ain't got to work tomorrow. You taking tomorrow off for your birthday? You going to be off tomorrow?
Well, we got my birthday tonight, and tomorrow I got to be at work around 2 o'clock. So I could sleep in just a little bit, but I got to go to church, and then I'm off to work for the evening. And outside of that, I mean, nah, I ain't really got nowhere else to be.
I hear you. Anyway, when you gonna do a football show next week sometime, ain't you? What day you gonna do it next week?
What do you mean football show?
I'm talking about starting to the bowl games. You know, the bowl games start on the 16th. You know, all the bowl games.
Oh yeah. We did a show the other night picking the bowl games, but I'm not sure when I'm going to start live streaming. I know that I was able to get off for the semifinals and the national title, but outside of that, I'll have to double check work schedule. But we should have bowl games starting next Saturday, pretty much every day outside of Christmas Day, right?
Oh yeah, it's bowl games everywhere, man. I had a list of them. I don't know. There's so many of them.
Yeah,
Excuse me, you can't
Big
keep up with them.
Big Barney Ross says, "Will Michigan win it all?" And then Max Todd says, "Michigan will not make it past Bama." How are you feeling about Michigan right now?
I don't know. I really hadn't given it a whole lot of thought. I mean, I haven't followed Michigan the whole year, even the scandal stuff or sign stealing or whatever they were accused of doing, whatever they done. I mean, I just know Alabama. The last two times we played Michigan, we dominated them. Was we played them in six, played them in nine. So
Yeah,
I mean, we just completely dominated them. They may have a different team this year. I don't know. I mean, you never know. You can't put all your eggs in the basket saying they'll be the same this year as they was last year, the year before, whatever. So we'll just have to wait. If Alabama plays like they did against Georgia and I hope they don't play like they did against Auburn. They should be okay.
yeah. That's the thing is it's been so inconsistent. Like you almost need the games like we had. Like don't have a USF recap. Don't have a Auburn rehab. Like mishap and you got to play how you played against Georgia. You can play a close game, but you also got to dominate. And that's what they did. Like you notice that Georgia game, they dominated lines of scrimmage. They played great defensively against a really good Brock Bowers and Carson Beck. Just give them credit. They played really good. And once they get into that rhythm, it's almost like they're unstoppable. But we know that they're not. And I hope they don't get that through their heads. Like I hope they don't get complacent with it.
Oh yeah, you probably saw that on my Facebook page there. Harbaugh was spotted there over Bryant Denny Stadium. You see there with his glasses and everything on you.
Yes, I did.
He was so you better keep a damn eye on him quick. He's a sneaky SOB. Anyway, all right. He's probably looking right now, probably peeping through the crack.
He's watching our show.
Yeah, he's watching our show probably more than likely. Anyway, all right, man. I'll get off here. I just thought I'd holler at you because it was your birthday, and yeah, when you do a bowl, if you do some kind of bowl prep show or something like that, I'll jump in maybe next week sometime if you get a chance to do one or something.
All right, sounds good, Waylon. Thank you, buddy.
All right, man. Happy birthday, and I'll catch you next week sometime. Be safe.
You too, bro.
Bye-bye.
Waylon checking in, the godfather of the SEC, checking in tonight. Thank you, Waylon. Thank you, Chess, for coming on as well. Great people in the chat tonight. Anyone's welcome to come back on. Anyone's welcome to join at any time. I don't hold anybody back. If you want to be part of the show, you want to be part of the show. We'll get multiple people on. Really just celebrating 4 years on this channel. And, I kind of cried last night getting prepared and everything and just getting ready and just seeing all the posts on Facebook and everything. It's just like overwhelming. So, but I'm much appreciated and I love all of you. Just so overwhelmed. How about this tonight? You want to talk some football? Again, the Army-Navy game tonight, 17-11, and Army wins. I want to look real quick and double check what the series record is for Army-Navy. If someone has it, you can put it in the chat, but I'm going to look it up myself because I didn't really – I always make a video on it. I did not make a video this year, really. I support both teams. I want y'all to understand that. I know that there are people out there that say go Army, beat Navy, go Navy, beat Army. I say go Army, go Navy. I say for both of them. I knew it was in Foxborough at Gillette, but, honestly, like I haven't really watched the teams this year. I would have loved to, but I worked a lot of Saturdays and everything. I do the radio station on Friday night, and it's been crazy this football season for me, just trying to watch all the games and watch everybody. And they're definitely putting me to work, but I love it. I love what I do. They first met. Let's talk about this game here. November 29th, 1890. Navy won 24-0. Army won today 17-11. They meet next year on the 14th of December. They are supposed to meet at FedEx Field next year in Washington. Actually, it's east of Washington, D.C. It's in Landover, Maryland. That is home for is it the Redskins? Or would it be Baltimore, I guess? M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore Ravens. Oh, okay. So I don't know. FedEx Field is the Commanders. I apologize for saying Redskins there. I don't want to offend anybody, but you know me. Like M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore Ravens. That's 2025. MetLife is the Giants and the Jets. They will be there in 26. Lincoln Financial Field back in Philadelphia, home of the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, my guy, 2027. It should be good. I'm looking forward to it. So, again, computer acting up a little bit, having some tech issues on my end. I hope you were able to hear all that. But, again, I was just reading off the sites for Army Navy the next couple years. And we're looking forward to all these games. So FedEx Field, M&T Bank Stadium, MetLife, Lincoln Financial Field. So Navy, believe it or not, Navy leads the series 62, 55, and 7. The largest victory came in 1973. Navy was 51-0 over Army, 51-0. Longest win streak was 14 for Navy, 2002 to 2015. And Army's on a 2-game win streak. So Army's won the last 2. So you can imagine if Navy wins next year, how incredibly special that might be. This is a huge game. The game results you saw today, 17-11. It was double overtime last year in Philly. Last time they had it on my birthday was 2017 in Philly. And then Army had won. Army won. I'm sorry, 14-13. They had it in Foxborough today, and I'm looking to see if they've ever actually had it out there. It looks like it's the first time it's been in Foxborough. So they actually had it at Gillette Stadium, and I did see College Game Day had Robert Kraft join the show from the Patriots, the GM and owner. And then Bill Belichick was the guest picker for the game. So I might have to go back and watch some of that on YouTube. I'm going to drop the link again. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. What's up, Bob? Bob. He's got great content, too, if you're ever curious about high school athletics in the state of Alabama. Bob Amin. He's pretty good. He's good people. Anyone wants to join, feel free to. I know we've done it one at a time so far tonight. I don't want to do it one at a time. I want to get like a little bit of a hangout going. And if you guys want to talk, we talk. And let's just get you guys on here. So, yeah, anyone's welcome. Just click that link. Max Todd, what's up? Navy played like the New England Patriots. Couldn't score. Yeah, right. It's that Belichick curse. He showed up. Robert Kraft showed up. And they looked like they couldn't score at all. It's almost like a weird curse in New England. It's like ever since Tom Brady left New England, ever since that happened, there have been hardly any points at Gillette Stadium, at least from New England's side of things. Can't wait to watch highlights later. I did see some of it. So we did our bowl pick'ems this week. I can pull that back up and we can go through what we had picked as Ballard Sports Media. I locked in my personal picks, but we definitely had some good conversation, and we agreed mostly on a lot of them. There were some games that I looked at and I just didn't know who to pick. So I just asked the crowd, I think we had Mayhem or whoever. I try to watch the NBA, but I haven't been able to follow it too closely this season to I mean, I've seen a little bit of the Celtics. The Celtics have looked really good, and I think they could win it all this year, honestly. I just don't know. Let's get this guy on here. What's going on, brother? You're on.
Yes, echo.
I don't hear an echo. You're good.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday, bro. And congrats on 4 years. Even though, I've been around for almost a year, but congratulations on 4 years.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate people like you for sticking around.
You provide good content, so yeah. I mean, I know I don't check you out as much as I should, but I check you out when I can. I'm busy.
Yeah. I watch your content, though. It seems like you're putting some good stuff out. You've been busy, and honestly, I'm loving what I see.
Well, since I've been out with injury and stuff, as you know, I'm trying to stay up to date with stuff and just put out different things. So, I've been doing some history stuff. I saw the shoe hat 20 thing. So,
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Max. Soft jazz is pretty good. I like music like that.
but thank you for watching the content. I just try to do what I can when I can, but hopefully
Yeah.
I'll be getting back to it soon, like what I was doing. And things I progress, I will get to do.
Yeah. Well, I have to go back and watch what you've put out recently. I noticed you're close to 1,000 subs, which is pretty good. I want to go watch the Peach Bowl video, and then I might have to go check out the Alabama High School Athletic Association where you did the summary of the state championship. But I did watch the Rose Bowl thing you did, talking about can history be made between Alabama.
I'll tell you the Rose Bowl thing. I mean, you can watch it, but apparently they're saying that if Nick Saban wins the game against Michigan, it'll be the first time that he's ever coached a game back to back with two different number one teams back to back and winning that in the same season.
Yeah.
So that's what the Rose Bowl thing was about.
Okay.
I found that out in my sports, but if Nick Saban wins the game, then he'll be the first coach to do it, because it's not uncommon to play two different number one back to back, but usually in two different seasons.
Yeah.
So
it would be history, because I don't think I've ever seen there goes lightning there. I hope the storms are okay where you're at, because we got some here in Alabama.
We're okay.
Yeah, that's good. Outside of Auburn in 2017, go back there. They beat the number one team back to back in like a 2-week span, 3-week span, when they beat Georgia and Alabama. But then,
right. But, I mean, Auburn has done that, but it was two different seasons where that happened. It wasn't in the same season. I looked into that.
It wasn't the same season?
No. No, it was not. Uh,
Huh.
Now it's more common for one team, like say Alabama and Georgia, say they were number one, then they play them later in the season and Georgia's number one. It's common to do that, but it's not common to face two different teams like that.
I think it would be more historic, though. I'm pretty sure that Georgia was number one in 2017 when Auburn won, and then now it was within 2 weeks. Auburn had like a cupcake type of game between the Iron Bowl and the
Right.
Georgia game, but I get what you're saying though, because we beat Georgia. You're Alabama. You beat Georgia. You turn around and beat Michigan consecutive games. Consecutive games, literally back to back, without anybody in between. That's huge. And you do it on a much bigger stage. I mean, you talk about the SEC title, neutral site, and they'll be in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. So
Yeah, it happened like that, but the thing it's like historic because it's never happened in the modern playoff era. It may have happened before the playoff era, but not not. That's what I think they were referring to.
yeah, not in the playoff era.
Anyway, I got the information. I put it out there as a question. It's not saying that it will happen, but I just posed it as a question because it kind of intrigued me when I saw that. I saw it through like
Right.
one of those independent sports things like SB Nation, stuff like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Cody. He says happy birthday. I appreciate that. Hey, let me ask you. I haven't really been to any games, but with Coach Sharp coaching both the men's and women's at Wallace, have you been to any of the games and have you seen anything that kind of sticks out about them?
I think of one college game. Not really. He's doing his thing as normal and stuff. It's just they're playing better than I've seen. Even though there's
Yeah.
only one team, it seems like they're more wanting to play for it than it was last year. It seemed like they were more eager to work harder. Just in the one game I saw. I can't really say much more than that because all I saw was one game.
Okay. Yeah, I need to get in. I know they've had some travel games, but
They've had a lot of
once they get
travel.
into a bunch. What's that?
They've had a lot of travel games, so
Yeah. Well, I noticed their next home game is at least for the men's I'm looking at is going to be Thursday around 7:30 Central. So they play Sneed.
yeah, and I don't know if I'll be, but I've heard that it's going to be going today.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, there is a good high school game going to be over the Christmas break, though.
Yeah.
Hansville High School will be playing Dora at Hansville High School, like I think the 29th of December or something like that.
Okay.
And I think it's only going to be the JV boys and the varsity boys. The girls will be somewhere else playing Christmas tournament. That day will be like at 1:00.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how it would turn out. But, they typically around that time they have what they call the cross border war, and it's usually Coleman County teams versus Walker County. So that's actually would be a good matchup. I was just letting you know, just to let you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've just been so busy. Like I haven't been able to go to any of the Wallace games, whether they're even though I've noticed they've traveled a lot. Me personally, man, I mean, I know you kind of follow me around on social media and everything, but the radio stuff's going pretty well. I mean, it's picking up a lot, and I've been to some of the high schools. We're doing basketball right now with WKUL and in Coleman, and By the way, I dropped a link if you guys ever want to listen to great music that they have on there, and then anytime they have sports, go listen
Yeah.
online. I can start trying to do a better job of sharing out when we'll be on the air for basketball. But we've been to like Cold Springs' new facility, which is
Yes,
amazing.
I heard your thing about that. I
Yeah,
thought it was really good analysis. I wasn't able to get there, but I heard it. It was good.
thank you. We've been to Good Hope. We've been to, I think I went to a Fairview football when they were still doing football. I think I
Yeah.
went there, but we haven't been there for basketball yet. We've been to West Point, Good Hope, Cold Springs. Coleman does their own broadcasting, I think. So we probably won't
Holly
have
Pond
Coleman
does.
games.
Holly Pond does too with the Holly Pond Broncos network.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
you know, sometimes, not often, but sometimes WKUL has been known to partner with them and both provide a broadcast, you know, but it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it has.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I would encourage everybody. I could try to do a better job of like tweeting out or Xing out or whatever they call it these days. I can, just kind of put some little reminders like, "Hey, we got a game on WKUL, and we gotta." I want to help them grow, and
I mean, if
I'm
you're
glad that
there,
they're
you know
helping me
you're
grow.
going to be there for the game, you're good.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that would be something you could do if you know you're going to be there.
yeah. Cody brings up a good question. Let's talk some baseball. Shohei Ohtani going to the Dodgers. I had heard rumors for a while, but now that it's official, I think it's going to make the lineup for the Dodgers more powerful this next season. I mean, I think they'll be in for a good run. So we lost Bob. It says device is not connected. If he gets it back connected, we'll try to add him in. But yeah, I think Shohei Ohtani going from the Angels to the Dodgers, I think is going to be huge. Especially like they do need a little bit of help. Just getting on base, getting some hits. Uh, Ever since they won that World Series, it's kind of been a little bit, not too much of a decline, but I still think they're one of the better teams in baseball, and I think you'll probably see that this next season, especially with Shohei Ohtani. And it looks like we got Bob back here, so let's try to get him back in here. Mayhem says, "Go Cubs." I say, chop on. We do the Brave stuff, so. And
Well, yeah,
I've been to back to back.
I saw the Ohtani thing, and I posted a small video about it earlier
Did
this
you?
evening. So, I mean, I know that all of the Braves fans, but I'll follow him because he's the highest paid athlete right now in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, $700 million.
Yeah, it breaks a big record too.
Yeah, I missed.
You know,
So what record does it break? I saw the payment, but what record does it break?
the highest paid athlete in Major League Baseball because the previous record was a 12-year valued at $402 million.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about um, the Dodgers have always had a really good lineup. I mean, they got Clayton Kershaw pitching. At least last time I checked, he's still with the team. I've been trying to follow up with everything baseball wise, and I want to get into it a little bit more in 2024. But
well, when all else fails,
course.
go next door. He was released by the Angels. He stayed in the same city. He went next door. He's getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah, same city for Shohei Ohtani, and I did see where the Dodgers they had agreed to terms on a 1-year deal with Jason Hayward for right field, and I think he's a pretty good ball player, and I think he'll definitely help them have some advantage in the outfield this upcoming season. So they don't open up until February 22nd when spring training gets underway, and of course, I try to stay close with the Braves and what they got. I mean, they should be bringing everybody back for Atlanta.
I don't know what's going on, but it's like when you're talking, I hear it reverbing on my end, and I'm having hearing what you're currently saying. I don't know if it's my computer or yours.
I don't know. I got good signal here, it says so.
How about I do this? I'll leave the audio, and I'll do the stuff in text.
Okay.
I mean, I've got good signal too. It's just I'm getting reverb on both sides, not you, but on mine, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I got you.
So I'm heading out of this right now, and I'll go to bed.
Let me check my channel real quick and see how bad it is, because if it's going out, Mayhem says it's good on his end, so
Maybe it's something I need to work fixed or something. I don't know.
and 1, 2, 3. It sounds okay.
So you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, the reverb's not there like it was. But it's like you're saying what you're saying, and then 10 seconds later, I'm hearing it again. I don't know what.
Well, I had the stream playing on YouTube, so you were hearing the echo. I just wanted to make sure it was sounding okay.
Yeah,
I heard it again.
Hard to hear on my part.
Yeah. Yeah, Big Barney Ross has a PGA question. I know you try to follow everything you can, but John Small, I don't even recognize the name. I try to follow golf, but I really only get into it with the Tour Championship and the Masters, if I'm being honest. I know Justin Thomas went to Bama. I know about Tiger Woods. I know some famous names, but we lost Bob. If he gets back in here, maybe he'll answer the question, but we'll see. I'm going to drop the link again. We'll drop it a couple times tonight. I don't want to go past 11 o'clock here, but we'll see what happens. If you guys join, you join, and I'm happy to stick around and talk with you. Smoltz is one of the Braves Hall of Famers. Oh. Bubba Watson, UGA, says ma'am. Let's see. There's the thunder.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, I think what it was is when I joined your stream, I had the YouTube channel still up, and so it was echoing off of both. And so what I did was once I got in the studio, I just took it off the YouTube thing, and I'm just on your stream now, and now I'm not hearing the reverb. So that was a technical issue on my part.
Okay.
So at least, so what was the question? Because I kind of missed that.
Oh, we were getting into. I think Big Barney Ross in the comments was being sarcastic, but something about the PGA and someone named John Smoltz.
John Smoltz used to play for the Atlanta Braves back in the 90s and stuff, and there has been talk that he is talking about potentially being a commentator for one of the sports networks that may cover golf, because he did play golf in his spare time when he wasn't playing baseball. So yeah, there is some there is some truth to it, but I don't know for sure because I haven't really heard anything. I've heard rumors, and you know how sports rumors are, unless it has to do with ESPN or the college football playoff. If you hear rumors, it's not true. But if you hear it from ESPN or some other place, then usually it is. You know how that works in the sports world.
Yeah. Yeah. He says he wasn't being sarcastic, so he was being serious. John Smoltz, of course, played baseball. He was a Hall of Famer for the Braves and really good pitcher. And he so he was just wondering if he'd get on and cover the PGA Tour and everything. So and you said,
I
of
mean,
course, you've heard some rumors.
when you are a sports guy and you play different things, sometimes you're talented in more than one area. And if you need money, sometimes you'll do what you need to do, even if it means going and doing a sport you're not normally used to doing. Case
Right.
John Smoltz could be looking into ways just to generate some income, and nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
So let me ask you this. Like I said, I haven't been able to watch everybody I'm subscribed to. So like I'm sorry if I've like missed some of your videos, but the college football playoff, you have now Michigan and Alabama, and then in the Sugar Bowl you have Texas and Washington. Do you think they got it right, or do you think FSU got snubbed out for an SEC team? What do you think?
Honestly, and I'm going to
Because
get
I know you're like me. You're an Alabama guy, but I'll even be honest and say that I feel like FSU got snubbed.
Well, yeah, I think they did, but then again, I don't, because Liberty University also was undefeated. Yes, they got a New Year's Day 6 game for being undefeated. So, in regard to Florida State, maybe they should have gotten it and Alabama shouldn't. But if you're going to say on that same token, then you need to look at Liberty with their undefeated record too. They have a right to be complaining too, even though they didn't get up in the rankings and stuff. But they were one of the only teams in all of college football that went their season and their conference championship undefeated.
That's true.
So,
And
so
I said, by the way, that the reasons like this that people are getting ticked off about the selection committee picking Alabama over FSU and stuff. Like I feel like FSU got robbed. I'm an Alabama guy, but like this is why we're going to 12 teams next year. We won't have to worry.
Right, next year we won't have to worry. But if you look at their status and stuff, they have a tiebreaker. The committee has a tiebreaker method that they use in putting in a thing like that. FSU got snubbed if you're going based on deserving and being undefeated and coming from the third most powerful conference. Yes, they got snubbed in that aspect. But if you look at their stats regarding injury to their quarterback, it's in their qualifications and stuff. And Alabama's been on the wrong side of that shoe before too. If you remember a couple of years ago, Alabama was the number 5 team looking in, and honestly, that year Alabama should have gotten into the playoffs, and they didn't. I'm an Alabama guy, and I'm going to say this right now: they should have found some way to make it work. You know, I had heard some fans saying that because of the chaos, they could have had a play-in game for that number 4 spot. You know, just as something that wouldn't count, but something that they could showcase talent and then help the committee to make a decision based on what they saw.
I'll say this. I know where some of these teams ended up, but let's compare schedules for a second this year. Alabama loses to Texas. Alabama loses to Texas. They go on. Texas only loses to Oklahoma. They win the Big 12. They get in. That makes sense. Alabama beat at the time, and this is what I say, because some people like to say, well, they fell off after that ranking and stuff. Alabama can't control what happens after they play somebody. All they can control is can they win the big games. And from what I'm seeing here,
in regard to the playoff, I can disagree with Texas getting in because, yes, Alabama did lose to Texas. That is a given. Oklahoma beat Texas, and then Kansas beat Oklahoma. So Texas doesn't deserve to get in for that reason, but they did.
Right.
That's so. If you're gonna snub someone, Texas should have been the one that got snubbed, not Florida State. Honestly,
I could see that actually, but like they They do it, number one, for money. But, like, what I was trying to get at was this. You look at the time, Alabama beat 15 Ole Miss, 17 Tennessee,
Yeah.
14 LSU, and number one, Georgia. That's 4 ranked wins compared to Florida State, who beat 14 Louisville and number 5 LSU and number 16 Duke. That's 3. So Alabama had a better top 25 record this year. And honestly, I mean, if it were up to me, I mean, I'm going off that.
What about top 5? Did Florida State beat anyone that was in the top 5 at any point during the season?
They beat LSU, only LSU to win the season opener, and then Alabama beat Georgia just a week ago in the SEC title.
Okay, so
they're both tied 1-1.
Tiebreaker, because it seems like we've got one apiece, for a top 5 opponent. That wouldn't apply. I was trying to find reasons to justify things, but I still think Alabama should not have gotten in.
Yeah. No. I would look. I'm an Alabama guy, like I said, and it would thrill me nothing more than to see Alabama win it. And I'm sure you would feel the same way.
I did,
but I would agree that look, Alabama gets in, I'm happy. But I look at FSU and I got to take the Bama stuff off and just be like, dang, dude.
Well,
but
the thing is, part of that has to do with who's on the committee. It's not really, I mean, yes, you had athletic directors and yes, you had some other sports people, but you also had one person on that committee who used to be a sports writer for Sports Illustrated that doesn't work for them anymore. You have a former sports person. I honestly think that could have played into it as well. I figured when Alabama beat Georgia, the chaos was just going to be phenomenal. I wish FSU could have gotten in, and honestly, being a Bama fan, and I'll take the flack for it, and I know you will too, but Alabama should not have gotten in as the number 4 team. They should have been. It should basically the matchup for the Peach Bowl should have ended up being Alabama versus Penn State, and I wouldn't have had a problem with that in the Peach Bowl. That should have been.
I would have loved it. I would have loved it because my grandparents are Penn State fans, so we would have had a heck of a time watching that game.
But actually, if Georgia won the game, that was who was supposed to play in the Peach Bowl, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, but Georgia, even Georgia gets punished because you talk about back-to-back champs and everything, and their run, and now Florida State sits there. I mean, you're playing Georgia. What if Florida State beats Georgia in the Orange Bowl? What are you gonna say later on, especially if Alabama doesn't win it all?
If Alabama doesn't win it all, then there's going to be more of an argument on that. If Alabama, and I'm not saying this will happen, but say Alabama loses to Michigan, let's just say they do, then the talk won't really matter. And also, even though the snub happened and stuff, I mean, look at Jalen Milroe. He did get snubbed for a chance at the Heisman, and he said he'd rather win a national championship or at least have a chance to do that than to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
And I also got word that the quarterback for Florida State talked to Jalen, being brothers. I don't know how they know each other, but he said, go win it all for the South. Something along those lines. I don't know if that was exact wording, but the two quarterbacks talked to each other apparently somehow. And the Florida State.
In a friendly way, too.
Right. But I'm saying the Florida State guy is egging Alabama on. It's like, yeah, we're a little pissed about certain things, but we have no control over that. And so so Florida State respects Alabama enough to where the quarterback, who's the leader, by the way, outside of the coach, he talked to Jalen Milroe privately in a message, and somehow that got out. But he's encouraging him to win it all for the South, in essence.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly worded like that, but I'm just going based off of reading between the lines and seeing how that conversation actually went.
Yeah, man.
And I'm sure there was more colorful metaphors with that, but I won't get into that.
Yeah. I want to pull up real quick. According to ESPN, I want to look at team stats and where these two teams rank. Because you got Florida State, Georgia, I'm sure will be a great game. What sucks is Jordan Travis is not going to be healthy for it. But when I look at these numbers, you look at the team stats, it will tell you where they rank on ESPN. So Alabama, get this, They are 61st in passing yards. They're 49th in rushing. Now, they're higher up in rushing, but in a passing type of offense and what you need in college football, guess where Florida State ranks? Much higher. Much
I'm going to
higher. 44th.
44th. I was going to take a guess and say 40th, but close enough, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yes, I think Alabama got the better treatment. I think Florida State got snubbed. Am I going to go and cry about it? No. But I think once it gets going and stuff, the talk will be calming down because, I mean, there's no need for some of the politics. I'm sorry, I don't want to get political on a sports show, but some of the politics going on in Florida is just stupid. Let it go.
It is.
And I know you've heard about it.
Yep.
But the thing is, I think it's just because you've got people in those positions that are just trying to show their support. I don't necessarily think anything's going to be done about it, but I think the fact that they're saying that they want to do it, it shows that they support the state that they're representing. And in a way, I do applaud that, but sports is not really supposed to be political in that sense. I watch sports, and I cover sports as a kind of a release from the reality of world for a little bit. Even though that don't go away, there's no place for that.
Yeah, I agree that sports and politics should never mix. They should never combine. They should never do any of that. And that's why I watch sports, is to get away from all the craziness of the real world. And I run to God too. We lost Eric on here. He's a good friend on here too. And come in if you want to. But
I mean, have you seen my post when people are mentioning like certain things, like certain people showing up at ball games? Have you seen some of my posts?
I think I've seen a little bit.
I mean, I say that sincerely. That's just me being as nice as possible because, you know, I'll give an example. One year during the brackets, when it came to March Madness, they were showing certain leadership. I'm not going to name any names, but they were showing certain people that were filling out their bracket. I really don't care. I fill out my bracket. I do my stuff with my sports people. You know, we could talk about it, but I don't really care that such and such person is in attendance at a ball game. Watch the ball game and enjoy yourself, or cover it like we do.
Yeah.
So, and I don't mean to be taking up a lot of time on your show. I just thought
No, you're good.
I don't get a chance to do that. I don't get a chance to do this very often because I'm usually busy with my own stuff.
Yeah. Y'all go, you can drop your channel link if you want to. Y'all go check him out, man. He covers a lot of high school sports in Alabama if anyone's interested. I know we're a college football community over here, but I'm interested, and I can't wait to see what else you got for us, man.
Well, there is one high school in Alabama that I want to get to see, and I don't know if I'm going to get to see them until regionals. I saw them last year at regionals, but I want to see them again.
Okay.
And it's Hazel Green, the girls.
I've heard of the city, but where is that located?
Okay, do you know have you been to Huntsville, Alabama before?
Yes, I got some family up there, actually.
Okay, so go on Highway 431, 231 going north, and Hazel Green is about 6 miles outside of Huntsville. You'll pass Alabama A&M, and it's about 10 to 12 miles from the Tennessee border on 231.
Cool. So it's way up there in the state.
Yes, it's up there. But
okay.
It's a alternative route if you want to go into Tennessee without having to deal with interstate traffic.
Right.
It gets busy. It's busy at least until you get to Alabama A&M, and then after that, it kind of drops off a little bit, and then it picks up again. But Hazel Green is a 6A school, but they've got a girls team that's nationally ranked, and they've been playing teams out of state and doing well with it. And they've won 6 state championships back to back in basketball.
Wow.
Yeah,
I might have to look this up.
Also, at one point, they had the state record for the most number of games consecutively won in the state of Alabama, and they would have had more, but they lost a game unexpectedly to Hoover last year. But they broke the state record for the most number of games consecutive to win.
Okay.
And so far, the team has played Tupelo, and I think they've played some other teams in Tennessee. when they're not playing their region games.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think what other. I know we've got some quality athletes around here locally, but sometimes when I do my coverage and stuff, I might not be able to get to the games. But if I know of a player from another school that is on their watch list, as you would say, for recruiting, I do pay attention to that in high school basketball. As you know, I did 2 videos. I did one for the top 100 gentlemen in high school that are seniors, and I did the same thing for the girls. And where they are in the country and stuff. And there's a girl that's playing on a team right now in Alabama that's on the top 60 list for next year, and she's already committed.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of Ace? What's her name? Anyway, she plays at Spring Garden.
Okay.
She's I forget what her last name is, but her first name is Ace. That's what she goes by. I guarantee I'll look at the name and I'll remember it. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But she's committed to the University of Alabama women's basketball team, and she's ranked in the top 60 nationwide for high school girls. And she's committed to Alabama already for 2025.
For 2020, can I find? You can find women's basketball commits on 247, right?
Actually, I found the information that I did off of ESPN. You go to ESPN, and then there's an area where you can look for basketball stuff that's not on the main tab. And from there, you click NCAA M for the men or the women, and then there's a part for recruiting, and it'll tell you who the top 100 is for 2023, the top 60 for 2025, the top 25 for 2026, and then others to watch.
Yeah. I'll have to look into this here. NCAA.
Yeah, because they got some good. Yeah, I mean, that's how I found the recruit information. And the only reason I didn't do the 2025 list is because I wanted to see what kind of response I got for the 2024. And most of them have already committed to somewhere.
Hazel, the girl from Hazel Green, what year did you say? Because they got recruiting for 23, 24, 25.
Yes, Hazel Green has had a lot of college recruiting. So yes. Ace Austin is her name. I had to remember her name because I remembered her dad's name because I interviewed her dad. Ace Austin is in the top 60 for 2025 in the recruiting, according to ESPN, and she's going to the University of Alabama. She's already committed and signed. It took me a minute to remember her name.
It looks like on November 18th, so like 3 weeks ago, it looks like she committed.
Well, officially 3 weeks ago, yes, but she had committed, I think, in late October. But officially, 3 weeks ago is right. So, yes, that's one I'm keeping up with from Spring Garden High School, 1A school in Northeast Alabama. Just to throw a couple of high school names out there that I'm watching.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into everything, man, but it gets, you got to understand from my point of view, like, I'm a college student. I have a actual job that is almost full-time, but not quite there.
Right.
So, like, what I do on this channel, like, and I've been so sucked into this amazing college football community, but, like, starting in 2024, man, I want to get into that stuff. I want to do that research. I want to talk, like, your information that you get and everything is amazing. I want to get to levels like that, man.
Well, I can tell you the research that I do, I get a lot of different things that come through my feed. I mean, I've got people that subscribe to me that send me stuff. I will tell you, not every bit of it I go through. Like that information I gave you regarding the potential NCAA stuff, I'm not going to be doing much with that.
Right. Oh, I found her on here. She's 53rd in the ESPN high school rankings.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've seen her play because she also plays on a travel ball team, and I've gotten to see her in some travel ball.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a few others that I'm watching, but she's one of the ones. I also do know that, her team is Spring Garden, but I don't know. Her high school schedule's got it to where they are going to play some games potentially close by, but not here in this area.
Right.
So, but there is a couple others I'm watching, and some of them aren't even on those lists yet, but I'm sure they will be.
Yeah. Yeah, it even says here Ace Austin is a point guard, class of 25,
Yep.
verbal commit to Alabama. All right.
It's not just verbal, it's more than just verbal. But yeah.
Yeah.
Officially it's verbal right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I say, man, like I want to get into it. Like we'll have March Madness not too far off. You'll have baseball
Yep.
get underway. Like we want to grow this channel, but we want to it's Ballard sports media. It's not Ballard's college football media. It's not baseball media. It's sports. It's sports, dude. Like we got to expand and
Do you
we
remember
just
what I
got to
told
get
you
into it.
regarding breaking news? Do you remember the thing I
What's
told
that?
you? Whenever you find breaking news, if you find that it's relevant, try to get it out as quickly as you can. But it doesn't matter who necessarily originally breaks it, as long as you break it to your crew. That's been my view with the way I do things. Because that Utani information, when I found it out, the information was 4 or 5 hours old by the time I found out.
Yeah.
So if you keep that mindset, the longer you go if you see something that's worth of interest, bring it up. But the longer you go without bringing it up, the less likely, the more likely that people will have already heard it. You have to assume that people haven't heard it yet on your channel. You know, the way you expand the way that we both expand our sports media things is we just try to present information to people the best way we can. And we're doing the best we can considering we're generally one-man shows. But,
which is hard too. Like honestly, if it were up to me, I'm not. Yeah, I guess I am asking for a producer. I don't have the money to pay nobody, but like,
Right.
dude, if you give me a script to go off of, I
Yeah.
can read it and I can present it.
Yeah.
Trying to come up with it on my own, like I can do it, but it's so much, man. Like when you're a single, like on your own content creator, like we are,
Right.
it's a lot of work and a lot of pressure.
Yes, but but here's the thing. It's so rewarding when, say, they know what you're doing, you're out in the public doing what you're doing, and it's really cool when you have a parent of some kid that you cover that comes up to you and thanks you while you're shopping at Walmart minding your own business.
Right.
That's the greatest feeling that you'll get. And I will be honest, I've had that happen a couple of times, but I don't do it for that reason. I do it because I love sports and I love sharing sports.
That's me. That's me too, man.
And if it helps somebody, along the line, what I mean by helping, I mean if it helps them get a scholarship, if it helps them to potentially better their lives as a result of some of the coverage I do, then I'm doing my job and you're doing yours. I'm not saying that I intentionally try to help people in that sense, but if it does, I'm glad that it does. I share it because I love it, and I know you do too. That's one of the reasons why I've enjoyed subscribing to your stuff. No, I don't get a chance to watch all your content because I'm usually busy with my own stuff. Just like
I don't blame you, dude. I'm subscribed to a lot of channels and I can't keep up with them all. I try to because I want to get ideas. I want to be able to share stuff and see what the big headlines are and give my own takes on it and everything. But like it's so crazy because as a content creator, you can't just sit back and watch everybody else. You got to do your own thing because you got a fan and they have friends that they want to talk about you to. And you don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to let them down.
No, but sometimes letdowns will happen. Sometimes just life happens. I find when that happens, if you explain it, and do the best you can to prevent stuff from happening where you can and explain it, just like we're having a conversation now, more people are more receptive to that because, technology is great, but sometimes it fails. I mean, I know you've seen my stuff to where I've had to quit doing a certain thing on Twitter because I'm having technical difficulties, and it might not even be on my end. It might be on the end that I'm getting my feed from. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So no, I don't like when that happens, but we as content creators, we just have to work through it, and we do generally.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm not the only one that deals with that. I know you do too sometimes, but you do what you got to do. You do the best you can do. But
Yeah, you
I
do.
will. I will say though, I was a little bit surprised when I found out that you entered that contest for tickets to that bowl game. I thought that was really cool that you did that and thought of me.
Oh, which one was that? The Peach Bowl? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when they're announcing that, but yeah, I thought of people like you, and I tried to share it out a couple times. And
Well,
by
they
the
said
way,
the schedule is-
if anyone's curious, it's Ole Miss and Penn State for the Peach Bowl, so that'll be a
yes.
good one.
Well, the thing is though, they said the announcement's going to come sometime December 12th, but they didn't say what
December
time.
12th. Yeah.
They didn't say what time. They just said sometime on that day the winner would be announced via Twitter.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get lucky and maybe we'll be the one in Atlanta watching that game. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think my work has put out the schedule that far. I'm probably working that day, but it's never a shame to take a chance.
No, because if you don't take a chance, things won't happen. And sometimes you have to make that chance happen. And you know, when a door is creaked a little bit in a crack, you pull that door wide open and you walk right through it.
Right.
So, but no, I'm just glad that, you know, I know we've ran into each other doing different things. Sometimes we've been doing joint ventures with different things. You know, like sometimes we'll be at the same ball games. You're doing your thing and I'm doing mine. And then there's time, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's cool that we've had that. And I know we don't cross paths a lot, but it's still fun when we do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, have they I could look it up here, but they haven't put out any Wallace baseball, have they? Have they put
Yes,
that out
they
yet?
have. They've got a sort of. I don't know if it's the complete schedule, but they do have somewhat of a schedule, and I'd say the same with softball too. So,
Oh, they do have the schedule here. February
well, no, but I'm saying,
7th.
but that's. I don't think that schedule's complete yet. Is what I'm
Right.
getting at because, and I say that because of information that I get from people on the staff. You know, from that. I think the baseball schedule is pretty much complete. The softball schedule, I'm not so sure about.
Okay.
And I still think there might be some changes because I think they're required to have the schedule out sometime before the end of the month. So, yeah, it's the schedule you see for baseball is pretty much set in stone, but there could be some changes. You know, some tweaking, as they would say.
Yeah. Well, they'll get into the actual games in conference play around February or March, but I did see where softball picked up some big schools. I'm talking they played Pat Murphy in Alabama, they played Auburn, they played UAB, they played
They played
teams like
Jacksonville
Sanford.
State.
Like they picked up.
They played Jacksonville State in a fall tournament stuff. Wallace State softball is known for having fall games, but a lot of times their fall games are not going to be on campus, and they play the
Right.
bigger teams because they want to get better. And usually, I know from what I heard last school year, they played Jacksonville State in I think the Tara Ross Memorial Tournament, which is a special tournament based off of someone who used to play at Jacksonville State. I think they either beat Jacksonville State or they came very close.
Right. Okay.
But the games like that aren't going to officially show up on that thing. They, based on what you see for the schedule for the fall games they picked up, yes, they played those teams, but they played other games that wasn't exactly on that schedule. And the reason I know that's because some people in the softball world was telling me that they even played a team that's a semi-pro team in Oxford when they went and played in that Tara Moss Memorial thing, which wasn't listed on the website.
Right.
They actually played a pro women's softball team based in Alabama. They're based in Oxford, actually.
Yeah.
Now, stuff like that might not get mentioned on the website that they played them, but I know they did.
Yeah. It's like those hidden gems of the schedule or something. It's like
Hidden gems that
you
you
just
don't know
gotta
about
keep
until afterward.
right. And if you're lucky enough, if you follow the right sources, maybe you'll be able to show up.
Yeah, but that's the point, though, isn't it? Sometimes
Yeah.
when it comes to those special gem games, nobody really knows it's happening until it does. And by the time you realize it, the game's already 2 hours over.
Right. It's like,
Now,
oh,
there is a softball team I want to see this year, though. I do want to see that Oxford team, though, that actual pro women's softball team that we have.
yeah.
They play over the summer, though.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look into. I want to try to, cause I got a lot going for me with the radio station and
Yeah,
everything here in
yeah.
Coleman. But I should let you know. I mean, you've probably seen it on Facebook, but dude, I'm pretty much set to go to UAB. And it might not be exactly when I expect it. It might not be till maybe the spring or the summer of 25.
Right.
But I mean, it won't be too long before I'm over there, and their athletics and everything. I mean, I think Trent Dilfer honestly could do a better job with the football team. But other than that, like I know they're good in stuff like baseball and softball, and even in
Yeah.
basketball, they can have some postseason appearances, and it'll
Basketball
be
is
fun to
probably
see.
one of their prime gyms, though. I mean, UAB's got some good sports, like you said in baseball and softball, but basketball is their prime rib of sports.
Yeah, yeah,
UAB is like Duke and North Carolina are in basketball, but for this part of the state,
right.
in terms of what kind of emphasis they put on things.
Well, they got some games coming up actually. I just lost. Here it is. They play South Carolina State at home. Women do on the 12th. Men play at Alabama A&M in Huntsville. They play Montevallo at Birmingham. Women play Wagner in Philadelphia. So I mean they're playing some interesting teams here to open up the season and get things going, but then you'll get into conference play for everybody in basketball at the beginning of the year, and you'll just have to go off of I mean what you have, and that's where it's going to matter is can they win in their conference. And by the way, I think they switch conferences in football next year. Is UAB switching conferences in all sports?
Usually, when you switch conferences, you usually do it in all sports, the exception being like rowing and gymnastics, if you offer that. So, yes, UAB, I think, is going to the American Athletic Conference, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I mean, I could be mistaken on that. Because they were in
No, they are going because they're leaving Conference USA and they're going to the American.
Well, Jacksonville State was the one who took their place in Conference USA.
Yeah. Which is interesting to me.
Yeah. Speaking of Jacksonville State, how about them Gamecocks getting a bowl game in the first year of their FBS school in football?
That's really impressive. And a lot of teams can't say that they did that. What's your thoughts on who was it this year? Oh, I got it pulled up right here. James Madison Air Force. Forget the game itself, but how about James Madison having to get permission for the bowl game?
Jacksonville State had to do the same thing.
Right.
James Madison.
Does it surprise you, though? Does it surprise you that they got the permission, or did you kind of have a suspicion?
They originally didn't get the permission, but there's a rule in the book that states if there's not enough 6-6 teams in the bowl game, if they are bowl eligible, they'll get those spots that would normally go to 5 and 7 teams. And that's the reason why Jacksonville State and James Madison both got bowl games, because James Madison is not eligible for bowl games traditionally until next year. Jacksonville State's going to have to wait another year because when they joined in and stuff. So they got in based off of a clause in the NCAA rules. If there's not enough bowl eligible teams, then if they're bowl eligible, then they can get in on that. But if they had enough, if they were bowl eligible, James Madison could have been playing in a much higher bowl game than what they are.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville State probably too, because I mean Jacksonville State went 8-4.
And you need 6 wins. I think honestly, if you're in the FBS Division 1, Power 5, whatever,
right?
Which, if I'm not mistaken, James Madison and Jacksonville State are FBS Division 1, right?
They are now, but the thing is, there's still
Right.
a 2-year transition period per their bylaws. So yes, you're right about that.
Oh, I see. That's where I call bogus. Is I think if you're gonna move a conference or move a team to a conference in their Division 1, they should apply the bowls, the conference championships. It should be automatic.
Well, I agree with you. The only reason the bylaws were put in place is on a normal situation. Now, I'm not saying the situation with Jacksonville State and James Madison is normal, because it's not. It's actually abnormal, but in a good way. But normally they have that transition period because teams that make that jump like that usually struggle to get good wins during those first couple of years, and it just helps them to make the transition better. That's the only reason they did that. I think it's a bogus thing too, because Jacksonville State, from what I gathered, with them finishing as they did, had they been eligible for a conference championship, they would have played Liberty for that championship, but instead they gave it to New Mexico State.
Yeah.
Because of the
that's
rule.
True.
And last year, Jacksonville State, when they were still an FCS school, did win their conference. They didn't play a conference championship game, but the officials gave them the rings anyway, even though it's got an asterisk by it. For that, because they legitimately won their conference last year when they were transitioning. So I honestly agree with you. I think if you're good, I think the rules are good if you're not that great, but if you are good to do like what Jacksonville State did, let them play the bowl games. Let them play for the conference championship if they're that good, and they are.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville State did something, though. It's the first time since 1970 that a first-year team has been able to play in a bowl game when they've made the jump to FBS. It's only the 8th time in history that it's happened. The last time it happened was 1970.
Wow. So you're talking, you got to go back 53 years to find the last time someone got into the FBS Division 1, or not even Division 1. I mean, James Madison's because you got to think, you got FBS, you got FCS. There's something else up there, but like you go to the FBS, that's the what is it? Football bowl subdivision.
Yes.
So bowl subdivision. I mean, you're talking
right,
and they set the rule. They set the rule even during the BCS time that if you go 500 or better, you're going to a bowl. But there's been all these conferences and these rules and these regulations that, well, there's like a 2 or 3 year waiting period. I'm like, dude, they're part of the family now. Give them
they're part of the family, yes. But I'm saying it literally, the last time it happened to where a first-year team in FBS, it's been since 1970 since the last time it's happened. It's only the 8th time in modern NCAA history that it's actually happened. So for the fact that it happened 53 years ago, the last time, that says something. Not many teams have that opportunity to have that happen.
Right.
And James Madison, with the fact that they had a winning record last year and they had one this year, even if Jacksonville State had not gotten the bowl game, James Madison would have had more of a legitimate argument. That's the reason they made the news by doing so much, by sending letters and requests and doing all that stuff to try to get a waiver so that they could play. Because with the way their record was when they started applying for that, if they had gotten the waiver, they could have played in a New Year's 6 game, until they lost their conference championship. But still, even at that,
Yeah.
I mean, James Madison's got one loss, and it was at their conference championship. So yeah, I'm with you on that one.
And let me ask you this, like, do you see any difference? Remember how Cincinnati, as a group of 5 team before they joined the Big 12, They
Yeah.
got into the playoffs, right? They're not
Yes.
Power 5. I mean, they are now, but at the time, it's like, they're not Power 5. What are you doing? Would you have been opposed or like, what if James Madison had won their conference, done everything right? Would you have tried to put a team like them in the playoffs?
I'm gonna say
If
yes.
it were up to you. If it were
If
up
it
to
were up
you.
to me, I would say yes with reservation.
Okay.
Yes, because they have the record and the resume. No, because I don't know how they would do against big schools outside of their conference they're in. They're okay. They're good, but I don't see how they would be able to stack up against an Alabama or an Auburn or a Georgia. I think it
See,
would have
and
been
I think that's the only thing holding it back is
right.
how would they stack up against the big boys. But outside of that, they got the record, they
Right.
got the you look at how teams like that just don't do that. It's a rarity. So you kind of get excited about this team,
True.
but they're undefeated and they're a conference champion. What they would have needed was a crap ton of chaos, honestly. But I mean, at the same
Well,
time,
that
it's
happened
like
with TCU.
if it had played out in their favor, you wouldn't
Right.
have hesitated to put them in.
No. The only reservation I would have would it be like what happened with TCU when they played Georgia? Would it end up being if they somehow made it to the national championship game? Would they get slaughtered as bad as TCU did to Georgia? That would be my only reservation.
It would have made 65-7 seem like a close game. I promise you, if they had got in to play Alabama or Georgia.
Honestly, though, I think that game might have been actually closer.
Really?
But I still think James Madison would have lost, but I still think it would have been much closer than I don't think it would have been a 62-point or 50-something point blowout. It might have been a 30-point blowout, but still. Then again, they might surprise you because, I've had friends tell me this. Even the number one team in the country, regardless of whatever sport it is, can lose on any given day.
We've seen it all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen it in basketball. I mean, Alabama was the number one overall seed in March Madness. How far did they make it? Sweet 16? I mean, come on.
Iowa women's basketball, I know you've seen some of the videos on it.
Yep.
They were the number one team last year up through, I think, 2 weeks before the Big Ten tournament. They fell to number 7. They made it to the national championship game and lost, but they were favored to win it.
Was it 2 or 3 years ago with Gonzaga undefeated? Remember, they made it all the way to the title game, and Baylor upset them and didn't even need a beater.
Right. Well, you can look at even some of the high school sports that I've been covering. There was a 6A game to where 4A game. Cherokee County was the one that gave everyone such trouble here locally with our teams that we cover for your radio station and what I do locally for some of my stuff. They were ranked in the top 5 for most of the season. They went undefeated all the way to the state championship game and lost to some team down in South Alabama.
Yeah.
On the state championship game, and Cherokee County was favored to win the game. They were favored to win the state championship based on how they were playing this year. And from talking to local teams around here, we won't say where, but talking to teams around here, they did not want it. They became that team that everyone hated to play because they knew they was going to struggle and probably lose, and most of them did.
Yeah. Well, I look at teams like Georgia of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned Gonzaga a couple years ago in men's basketball. I look at you want to talk college football for a second? Go back to 2018 Alabama. Remember, they were coined unbeatable, and they got their tails whipped by Clemson by 20 points.
But then again, at that time, you also have Trevor Lawrence that was playing at Clemson?
Right. It takes all I'm trying to get at, though. What I'm trying to get at, it takes the right person, the right coach, the right team to get the job done and knock off the giant and be the David in the story.
But sometimes it takes also a fact of sheer will. You could be facing the biggest opponent out there and stuff, And I have seen some teams when that comes up to where the team that normally would struggle against that team somehow becomes a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation, and they end up beating them on a crazy situation.
Right.
Kind of like what happened with the Army-Navy game, to where literally the game was lost by 1 inch.
Yeah.
Potentially. Strange things happen in our sports, and you know that.
That's what makes sports interesting, though, is the strange things that go on.
Well, sports to me reminds me of a movie clip. There's a line from the movie The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian.
Yep.
Aslan is talking to Lucy, and Lucy asked him why he didn't show up as he normally does. And Aslan's response was, "Things never happen the same way twice, dear one." In sports, you might have the same kind of outcome in terms of you might have a team that's always got a winning record that always beats a certain team, and it might still play out that way. But in terms of how it gets there, things are never the same, and that's what makes what we do very interesting.
Yeah. What's up, X-Wing?
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just enjoying the win we had, and all the doubters and
Naysayers.
I just knew, like, a lot of, like, on my videos, like, everyone was saying, history don't matter, but, like, it mattered. History repeats itself many times. So, I know we look like crap all year, but when we play Georgia, we always play them hard. And we always beat them, it seems like. I mean, except for the national championship game. But, like I said, if Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey was what, like, say we beat Georgia, or actually say Georgia beats us or whatever, and then we play them again in the national championship, and they didn't have Brock Bowers or Lad McConkey, all the Georgia fans would be saying the same thing us Bama fans have been saying. It was a close
about
game.
Jameson Williams and everybody.
Yeah, I mean, injuries, like big injuries like that, like, they matter. But
well, they do matter. But I would say this, and Bob Amin, who's also on here with us, an Alabama guy, at least covering sports in Alabama, he would attest to this too. It's when it comes to the big schools like Georgia and Alabama, it's next man up mentality, and with the way you recruit and everything.
Yeah, and Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey, they probably weren't 100% in the game, but I feel like we won the line of scrimmage in that game, which surprised me a lot,
especially on the O line. I'm not surprised by the defense, but that offensive line performance was spot on.
I don't think they were spot on. I just think they just wanted it more, and they were out for blood. That's what it seemed like to me, and they got it done.
However, we got revenge on all three teams that beat us: Tennessee, LSU, and Georgia.
Yeah, and we did it pretty good too. I mean, the score might have not reflected it and stuff, but you see the other stuff that goes on outside of the obvious. Yeah, we did really some bad damage to that.
What do you think about the Michigan game? I think we match up pretty well against them.
I think, honestly, our defense versus their offensive line, I think, will be a tough test, but it wouldn't surprise me if they can overcome those obstacles. I think it'll be a fair game, and I think both of these semifinals, honestly, could be close. And they could go either way, but I'm very confident in Alabama.
If Alabama don't win the national championship this year, a lot of people are going to say we didn't deserve to be in.
Well,
they'll say it for anybody that loses in the first round,
and they'll be like, "Well, I'm just saying, like, because we got in over Florida State. Florida State fans are going to be pissed if we don't prove to everybody that we deserve to be in over them."
Well, let me ask you this college football question. You do see certain teams in the semifinals and stuff. What do you think about the possibility of a rematch of Alabama and Texas for the national championship? Because that could very well happen.
It's hard. I think it's hard to beat the same team twice. And I think on neutral field, I know Alabama lost at home, but on neutral field right now with Alabama and how far they've come, I think Texas has gotten better. But
Texas is the only team that scares me.
Yeah, that's the only one
they scare me too. They scare me too. But would you take Alabama now versus what they were week 2? I mean, come on.
No, not until I see how they play.
They're a lot better, but Texas is a lot better too.
Once I see how they play against Washington, then I can make that call. But I'm like the other guy. I'm a little bit scared on that one right now.
Let me ask you this: if Alabama plays Washington for the final, what's the one thing that sticks out and scares you about Washington?
Their quarterback is elite.
And mobile.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that Washington plays the competition we play. I feel like we would be able to handle them pretty easily. And I don't think they've seen a defense like ours. I think we would score a lot of points on Washington, and I don't think they would beat us in a shootout. But
I think it might be a high scoring game between both sides because both teams have good offense and stuff. But I honestly think if Alabama were playing Washington, the chances of Alabama winning would be much better.
Tennessee's going to win, or Texas is going to beat Washington easy. But it's going to be a great game.
Easy. I don't know if I'd say easy. I really believe that even for Alabama, I think with how Michigan's played this year, I think they'll choke in the playoffs. But it wouldn't surprise me if we get two of the closest games we've seen in both semifinals for the first time in a few years.
First time ever, really, because usually the semifinals are blowouts.
Well, we had 2 really close games last year. I don't know if it'll be as close because those were both one possession games. But like you talk about 10, no more than 14-point deficits.
No, but when I say close, this would be the year that if it's going to happen, it could. But honestly, I'm going to throw the monkey wrench out there. I could see possibly both games if all 4 teams play like they should, we might see an overtime game or 2 or in both. And I'm saying that's a possibility.
I'm hyped
that's
now.
A real possibility.
I'm hyped now. Let's go overtime.
I know it might be me throwing the monkey wrench in that, but I'm going to go ahead and throw the monkey wrench in. I expect both games to potentially go to overtime. I'm not confident enough to make my picks yet for that. But the one game that I did make my pick for, I was confident on, and I still stand by that. But I don't make picks. Usually for the semifinals, I don't make picks. I did last year, but I don't this year. But I will be in the future. I just didn't this year because the stuff is too close for me to make an accurate call. Because you know how I am when I make my picks. A lot of times I go against the pros, and about 70% of the time I'm usually right. But I'm not confident enough to do that with the semifinals this year.
Have you been watching the NFL, Ballard?
A little bit. I'm trying to keep up with my fantasy league, but I think my ship has sailed for the season. If you look,
I'm think I'm playing you this week, and it's a really big game for me and you because if I win, then I could possibly sneak in the playoffs. If you win, you could possibly sneak in. So it's a big game for us this weekend, me and you, because we'll finish 8-4. If you win, you'll finish 8-4, or maybe 8-5, whatever. But and I will finish with the same record, and maybe that's enough for either one of us to get in.
Yeah, it's like I said, man, I've been so busy with work on Sundays and everything, or just busy with church or whatever it is. But who's at the very top of it all in our league right now? Do you know?
Well, a lot of people have lost. There's no dominant team this year. I was pretty dominant. Me and Colby were pretty dominant last year, but Mayhem Matthews number
Colby
one.
won it.
Yeah, he won it.
Oh my God! If we lose to Mayhem, if he wins this whole thing,
he's not.
He's been bragging to me about it. He's been bragging about it to me, like not for a little while, but for a while there. He's like, dude, my trade, please accept it. It'll help me out so much. I'm like, hell no,
no.
Like,
there's not been a whole lot of trading this year.
There really hasn't.
A whole lot. There hasn't been. It hasn't really. People haven't really been into it this year, really, like it was last year. I don't know. Maybe you need to host it next year or something.
I'll give it a shot, man. Do you like the NFL more than the ESPN, or do you prefer ESPN?
I don't know. What do you prefer?
I like the ESPN because I feel like there's some things about NFL like that I tried to do that you had to like pay for a premium for something just to see more stats or like
Oh yeah.
you can only optimize your lineup one time or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to see Tua. I'm kind of like a Dolphins fan, really.
Yeah,
No,
I'm with the Bama boys and
but Mac, he's in a bad system. A lot of people are, well, actually, with Bryce Young and everything, like everybody's saying how better CJ Stroud is, but really, he's in a better system than Bryce Young. Bryce Young is in a terrible, like on a terrible
organization.
team. They're on a terrible team.
Organization. Yeah,
And
I mean the
CJ Stroud's
Panthers.
got a better. He's got a lot of weapons around him.
CJ Stroud has a lot of weapons. Think about the Panthers. They haven't been anything since they made the 50th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And in that game, they struggled against Denver.
And when you look at Deshaun Watson, whenever he was with the Houston Texans, he always put up big numbers. But look at him now.
Yep.
Like he ain't putting big numbers up now. It's because he was on the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans has they throw the ball a lot and like they're very successful with their scheme on offense. So I think it has to do with the Texans and not Bryce Young. And I think if the Texans picked Bryce Young, he would be putting the same big numbers as CJ Stroud. I think.
I don't think he'll go pro this year. I don't think he can. So I think we get Jalen Miller for one more year. But is there a team out there, and I'll ask Bob this too, is there a team out there for Jalen Milroe you look at and say, hey, if he goes here, he'll have success, you think? Or is he doomed?
I don't
Which one do
know.
you want, Milroe or CJ Stroud? Or do you want both?
Jalen Milroe.
Is it just been me? Has it just been me? But like, has Jalen Milroe, like he has like his deep ball has gotten worse. It seems like
Yes.
he like in the
I'm
last
not the
few
only one.
games he hasn't been hitting his deep balls anymore. Like he underthrows them, and like the Georgia game, he didn't really have a great game. I mean, he had one good passing drive, which was a clutch. I mean, give him props. I mean, you know, he knows when to turn the clutch mode on and go down the field and get a score. But and that one pass to Jermaine Burton, but like he missed some wide open touchdowns in the Georgia game, and we actually didn't even play a good game against Georgia. So like
Same thing with Auburn. Same thing with Auburn, and the Gravedigger play was amazing. But I mean, you can't get in those situations against
exactly. Like he's so clutch. He's so clutch, but like he can't. He's so inconsistent when it comes to. It seems like the deep ball now is inconsistent.
There's only one team that
I'll tell you what's not going to win against Michigan is the Gravedigger play. If they get in that, it's over.
Like
Auburn,
he threw the ball pretty good against Texas. I mean, like in the Texas game, he threw 2 interceptions, but like he was throwing some really nice deep balls in that game. And then now, I mean, he couldn't throw the ball like intermediate or like short passes very well, but he's gotten a whole lot better at that. But like now it seems like he's like he don't want to overthrow it, so he like underthrows it.
There's only one team that I could think of that he might fit in well, and I don't know what your thoughts are, but Jalen Milroe could probably do well with Denver.
Denver, okay. A little bit of RPO action, right? I would assume that's what they run,
known
right?
for the RPO, and Jalen Milroe is kind of known for that.
He is, and if you notice with Tommy Rees this year, they kind of went back to that old school offense with Alabama. They're running the ball more. They're doing options with the quarterback and trying to pitch it to receivers out the backfield and running backs out the backfield and everything. So and it works. But when he tries to throw the deep ball, man, he's not on target. The receivers miscommunication. It doesn't have that.
I think we got a really good group of wide receivers this year. A lot better than
I really do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, a lot better. Isaiah Bond, I think he's emerged as possibly wide receiver 1. I know he's wide receiver 2, but I mean Jermaine Burton's probably wide receiver 1 right now. But he just got some kind of he's just so much. I think he's better than Jermaine Burton, to be honest. But
He
I mean,
is. And I'll tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something too. Next year, Isaiah Bond will be back. I guarantee you, he could. If you get it right with Jalen, I promise you, he could. I'm not saying as good, but he could be like that Devontae Smith type of guy where not a lot of people have him on the radar a little bit. He's probably known for that one play against Auburn, just like 2nd and 26 for Devontae Smith. Next year, he could turn the Jets on and take us places. I promise.
well, I think there's still I think there could be a quarterback competition still with Todd Simpson and Jalen Milroe because,
Well,
like,
we'll have who do we have this year? Julian Sand comes in, so you'll have a freshman competing too.
yeah.
If he
But
sticks.
that one game that that Ty Simpson came in, I don't know what game that was, but
was
he
that
came
the
in.
USF?
No, it wasn't
game?
USF. He played okay in the USF. I mean, but like there was a one game. It was when we were hitting our peak, whatever, and I think we were blowing somebody out, or it might have been late in the game. It could have been, I don't know what game it was, but
Like Tennessee or whoever?
I don't know what it was, but Todd Simpson, he went down the field and scored. I mean, I forgot what team that was, but I mean, he looked good. So I mean, he looked like a better. He still looks like a better passer to me, but he just don't. He's not as athletic as Jalen Milroe. They need to design more quarterback like runs for Jalen Milroe. Like, just, I mean, I know that he's been running it more.
You remember watching the You remember watching the Chattanooga game this year. I'm sure you've probably gotten to see most of the games. I saw some of the Chattanooga game, and I saw where Ty Simpson got in there and played. Of course, that's one of the games we put the backups in anyway. Hey, did you see where he ran 79 yards and almost had a touchdown? But he dropped it at the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But then again, he might.
He'll be all right. Though.
Yeah, a lot of people have done that.
Yeah. I have a prediction after Jalen Milroe. I'm going to say that Ty is the guy for Alabama. If not him, it might be the freshman Julian Sand next year. But I will see.
And have you heard about what's his name? Arch Manning. He possibly might transfer.
Really?
Because Quinn Ewers is coming back.
I heard about that, but I didn't hear about the Arch Manning rumors.
He might because it makes sense because, you know, unless he wants to, I mean, if he stays, you know, I commend him for that, you know, staying in, you know, because he'll be like a junior or senior whenever I guess he eventually starts. But if he gets beat out, I'm sure he'll transfer.
I thought
because he's already a sophomore now. I think Tyler Buckner, he's a lacrosse player.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, I thought that was kind of interesting news because he not only did he transfer for lacrosse, he transferred back to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Not that we really needed him too much because I do think we found a rhythm with Milroe, but still going forward, like there's a reason that they bumped Ty Simpson up to backup and bumped Tyler Buckner to third or fourth string. I mean, he just did not against USF.
Yeah. I just want to get on here and say happy birthday, man. I gotta get to bed, but
yeah.
Roll Tide, man.
Roll Tide. Love you, buddy.
We'll see you.
All right. Thank you, X-Wing. You got anything else, Bob, to talk about tonight? And then we're going to close it down. I'll say a closing message.
No, I'm good, but I'm ready to hear whatever you guys say because I think we've had a good discussion tonight, and it's been fun. And I wish I could do it more often, and I hope I can. But, you know, when we're both working on stuff, it gets tough sometimes.
Absolutely.
The only reason I was able to be here the whole time is because I wasn't really working on anything for once.
For once. I got you there.
Note the emphasis on that. That don't happen very often.
Right. Well, all right, man. You take care. We're going to get out of here, and I appreciate all the love and support, especially from guys like you on here. So you take care, man. Let's keep in touch about some high school stuff and see what we can come up with.
Sounds like a good idea.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, folks, another year in the books here at Ballard Sports Media. The final few minutes of the show tonight, I just got to say thank you. I can't even put it into words. I'm starting to tear up. I'm kind of emotional, man. You just kind of get that way a little bit when you, I guess, when you're just overwhelmed. And honestly, this channel started back in 2019, pre-pandemic and everything, and things were going great in life. It almost didn't happen because I remember, not that I need permission now, but like at the time, I'm still trying to find my way in the world. I had just turned 18, and we started this channel, Ballard Sports Media. And, I did talk to my mom about it. I said, Mom, I really want to get on YouTube and talk some sports. And she said, I don't know if I feel comfortable with you, kind of putting yourself out there and everything. And I said, I understand. I appreciate it anyway. Thank you, Mom. And, it's amazing this almost didn't happen. And I'm glad that it did. God, I said I wasn't going to get emotional tonight, but man, the tears are starting to come, but they're happy tears. And I just have so many people to thank. And, I see you back there, Atypical Gump. I'm really sorry, man, but we're going to close it down tonight. But I have people like you to thank that, that have stuck around. And I look at this as, yes, I did it to start my career, but when you think about the friends you make along the way on here, you're blessed. And I look at BVD and Law Tide and TikTok Chess Hall, who showed up a little earlier tonight. And, you guys have taken me in as one of your own. And you love me as I am. And I love each and every one of you on here. And it's been one hell of a ride, honestly. And we're still just getting started. Nick Saban once said at Alabama, he said, it's not the end, it's only the beginning. And I believe it's still the beginning of what God wants to do in my life and all of our lives here at Ballard Sports Media. It's not just me. It's a community of people that get together, that talk sports, and we just love each other. We love each other. We have fun. And just I'm beyond blessed and grateful. My grandparents, endless love and support on here. Endless love and support just around the house and everything, pushing me to be better, pushing me to do better. And I know I take it for granted sometimes, and I'm sorry, but I know that they know what's best for me. They want what's best for me, and I'm just thankful for them. Thankful for Mom and Dad and my brother who's down in Florida, and just everything they've done to help get me where I am. Just so many great people that have helped me. And, for those that don't know, I mentioned it earlier, but yes, I am at a radio station now. I'm at 92.1 WKUL, and JR, Mr. Mosley, is giving me an opportunity to talk, just be myself. And my career's taking off right now outside of YouTube, and I'm just so grateful. These are happy tears, by the way, man. I'm overwhelmed, and there's so many people to thank. From each and every one of you here on YouTube to the people at church and family members and people in Coleman, I just love and appreciate you all. I appreciate you guys, and I thank you for the endless love and support. All glory goes to God. He's the greatest, and He's placed these people in my life. So, Lord, thank you. Thank you for getting me where I am today. I wouldn't be here without you. And I'm thankful and appreciative of the people you placed in my life to be a blessing to me. And I know I'm talking a lot, but I really can't put it into words too much. 4 amazing years here at Ballard Sports Media. It's been a blessing. Let's keep it going for many years to come. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. And you know what's coming. You know what's left to say. Roll Tide Roll. Ballard Sports Media. Check it out. I love you guys. God bless you. Happy holidays too. Peace. And we'll see you later. I'm overwhelmed. I love you all. Thank you.